Not so like for me, it's like the introduction. The first time somebody actually meets me, they can call me Israel. But after they meet me,
Yeah,
now you can call me Izzy.
like official, right? It
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to
yeah,
be like
yeah.
the connection has to be there already.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
But if you're calling me Israel, it's like it's weird.
Yeah,
After you met me and you call me Israel,
yeah.
it's weird. But I just
Do
roll
you
with
get
it.
that now a lot? Now that you're like, you know what I mean,
There's a
in this
lot of people.
position,
Yeah,
they'll be
there's a
like,
lot
oh,
of.
they'll be like, hi, Israel.
Well, the thing is that like before actually, and just in case no people don't know, I'm Israel Rivera, Holyoke City Councilor. Uh,
Woo! Oh, look in the building.
I also am a program manager for Families First, and I've been doing a lot of community organizing in the community of Holyoke for a while now. I guess for me, for a while, I've known a lot of people in the community because I worked at the Boys and Girls Club
Mm,
for a very long time. So I've watched people grow up, and people have watched me grow up. So
definitely.
at the end of the day, like a familial connection with the community
Right.
overall. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because that's what I known you from. I known you from
Right.
just from being in the street and just being able to see you everywhere
Yeah.
I go. Like, hey,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Love.
But I actually remember seeing you when you were little.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember seeing you when you were little too
That's
as well. So
crazy.
it's like I remember seeing a lot of people that are now probably in their early 30s, late 20s when they were little kids at the Boys and Girls Club because I worked at Tefford Apartments first, and then I ended up working at the Bolden Village Boys and Girls Club, and then the main club, and then opening up the new one at Churchill
Mm,
because they had shut that one down because when they knocked down Jackson Parkway.
okay, okay.
Because Jackson Parkway was a spot too back in
Yeah.
the days. Yeah, that place was lit. That Boys and Girls Club. When I was little, like the Boys and Girls Club used to take us to mad different units, and we used to visit the mall. And like it was weird because like we'd like, oh, that's Jackson Parkway dudes, or these are the Flats kids, or you know what I mean?
It's
Like
always, we always
it's like,
create some rivalry,
yeah, yeah,
some
yeah.
do something.
Bowden Village, Tokaniki, because back then Tokaniki was Holyoke housing,
Yeah,
and then now it's not. It's a lot of it is it's managed differently.
yeah,
But yeah, nah, it's cool, man. It's cool to be here.
yeah. I appreciate you.
No,
You know
thank
what I
you.
mean? When you reached out and I put the post out and you came on, I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
go. Oh, look in the building today.
That's what. So for me, it's just trying to like I don't know, trying to help like people get their feet up. Well, I mean, not their feet up, but at the end of the day, like if you got a platform, and
Yeah.
you trying to run something. I'm trying to help people in Holyoke grow too as
Hell
well.
yeah.
So,
Nah.
like
That's
that's where it's
100.
at for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
But
if I have a platform and I can help someone else, or vice versa,
yeah.
then that's the case for me.
Yeah, and it's like you're from the city, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we seen you're like you just said we seen each other grow up, and it's
Right.
amazing
Right.
like positions that you're in right now from where you started.
That's fun. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like how long you been in Holyoke? How long have you lived in
That's
Holyoke?
funny. Uh, so I've lived in Holyoke since I can remember. I'll be honest with you, but the story goes that I was born in Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Then we moved to Puerto Rico. We moved to Chicago, then to Puerto Rico, and then from Puerto Rico we came back to Holyoke to come actually live with my titi Lou, and the family that they had out here. And then from there, that's all I remember. I was like 4 years old, and
Oh,
then
so basically through 1 through 4 years old, you were moving from Indiana to Puerto Rico, just kind of in the spin right there.
right, right. From Indiana, because my mom's family's from Indiana. They're Puerto Rican, but they located to Indiana for the steel mills, and just like people came here for the paper mills.
Right.
Um, I'm from Gary, Indiana. Um, if you do some research, it's very similar to Holyoke, exactly to like what like the industry left. There's a lot of poverty.
Ah,
There's a lot of
is that gonna
uh
spit an image?
like kind of, but like you could tell they had more money because
Mm.
it was way bigger. Like their roads are way bigger. Like it's crazy.
They're probably better too, right?
Nah, I mean, maybe at the time, but Holyoke, yeah, you got to give Holyoke credit, man. Holyoke once housed, from what I'm hearing, it once housed some of the most millionaires in
Yeah.
one small location. Like,
Really?
yeah, back in the days when they had all the paper mills running.
Right, right.
Like,
When they were lit, when they were trapping us, when they were trapping us,
all in Ward
right?
7, all in Ward 7. If you look at all the houses up there, those are the bosses of the people that ran all the paper mills. The
Mm.
people that worked in the paper mills, they lived in the flats inside Holyoke. And they lived in all the buildings.
Because that's like their little like low income. That's where because they wanted to trap them
So
after
it's
that.
kind of concentrated. Well, I wouldn't say that they trapped them. Like Holyoke was designed. It's the first industrially designed city, right? Again, this is all history that I was taught from the people in Holyoke. Right? So it's like the first designed industrial city by some rich white guys, right? They got some money. They came in and they said, "We're gonna make this spot the location for us because it's of where it's located, right? It's right next to the Connecticut River.
Mhm.
They created the dam to use to create the electricity and use all the electricity for all the mills. That's why they built them along the canal so they could use the water to help generate all the buildings. These dudes were ahead of the game, bro. You can't knock that, yo. 110%. And it's all electric, like hydropower, not no gas, not no crazy stuff. Like this is all hydroelectric power.
And then they had all the factories through that whole strip.
All through the strip. And what they did was like they ended up creating housing for the people that are gonna work right next to it, which it makes sense.
Right.
Like you're not necessarily, as a businessman, you're not necessarily designing it so that it's concentrating poverty, right? Even though, in a sense, overall, when you look at it, it ends up being a concentration of poverty. Because if you're not paying people a salary, but again, this is all different times and times of where you live, right? Because at one time, you could talk to the OGs, they tell you that they didn't need to speak English and they can go work in any paper factory and take care of their whole family.
Right.
That was a different era, though. Like now, there's no paper factories, and the wages that they're paying, it's not enough for you and I to take care of our family. I need a job. My wife needs a job, and we need extra jobs too on top of that, just to make sure that we can cover ends meet sometimes. So at the end of the day, it's a different time in society.
And also, they're shut down too.
Yeah.
Are they thinking
They're all gone.
Are they thinking about opening them back up?
Well, the buildings are open now. They're opening up, but they're all opening up for like the marijuana industry.
So we're just becoming one drug lord city, huh? We live. We live. We want the fire. You come to Holyoke.
Ironically. That
shit is lit.
But I guess when they did all that, like, if you think about it, like, it was not a bad idea. So, like, the idea of this place being created around business is kind of like leaves us where we're at now. Right? Because we don't have that main business or industry like we used to have, like the paper mill stuff. Now we're growing that with marijuana. The thing that is different to me, in my opinion, this is my opinion, is that they're not paying what people got paid back in those days. Like, yes, if you look at the numbers, they were getting paid pennies back then, but those pennies went a longer way than the dollars that they're getting paid now.
Right. Because even though they were getting paid pennies, things were costing pennies too.
Well, yeah, they were costing less than pennies. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be able to buy like a candy bar at 10 cents back then, from what I'm hearing, right? Again, I didn't live in those days, but that's what my mom would tell me.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you get paid, probably you're bringing home way less money, but that less money is going a longer way. And they had like 7 kids in those days with less services. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
With less like social services. I mean, like, I don't know like how much food stamps was going on in those days like it is today. I don't think it's to that extent. No. So like,
I think they were just living off the paper mill.
Right. Whatever jobs they had. Town, right? I mean, it was a different community if you look at it. Right now, supposedly, I think our population is around 40,000 people. Back then, Holyoke at one point, I think, had like 100,000 people.
Ooh, that was during that time?
Like, if you go back and you look at it, like, I remember reading one of those history of Holyoke books, and they had 110,000 people, bro. It's like, that's a lot of people.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of people.
And it's just working for the paper mill.
A lot of them were in the buildings. Remember, there's a lot of burned down buildings in the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
A lot of buildings burned down. And a lot of these buildings housed a lot of extra families, right? And the flats itself used to all be buildings. Yeah. And now it's all a bunch of houses, right?
Right.
Which is cool, right? But at the end of the day, like there was a lot more people living in that community. Now,
Mm.
you burn down. I mean, a building goes down, and you put up a 2-family home. You go from having 10 families or 12 families to just 2 families.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the numbers
You think that was
decrease.
like a little conspiracy?
Uh, I,
Or just things happen. Things happen.
I don't. There are people that think that there could have been some kind of conspiracy
It's like
around that.
start
Right?
taking us away little by little.
Well, with the burning of the buildings, there is history around that, and I am not one to speak on that because I don't know the actual facts. But there are people that I can talk to that can validate a lot of stuff. Because I've heard stories of people having to like protect their buildings from being burnt down intentionally because back then the building owners were trying to claim the insurance and all the other stuff. Right. But again, these are all stories that I've heard through the like different
just the stories, stories. You know, disclaimer.
But at the end of the day, though, like if you look at it, if you look at the blueprint of Holyoke back in the 70s and the 60s, there was a lot more buildings than there is today.
Right? Didn't they have that little circle? And my dad used to tell me like on Sargent, like Walnut, they used to have like a circle of buildings like this. I can't remember. I was around that area, just like between Sargent and like.
Well, between Sargent,
like where the new houses are at.
Yeah, well, it was Jackson Parkway.
Yeah.
Jackson Parkway, all that used to be Jackson Parkway.
They used to be buildings, right?
They were like little duplex buildings. They were like duplex house buildings.
Okay, so kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it was Jackson Parkway was cool. It was lit in those days. You had to be ready.
Holyoke was a different time, right? People don't even know like they see things now, but it's not as bad as it was back then.
As bad as it was back then. It was
bad.
Man. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Like I've seen shit and I've experienced shit. It was different for me, man. And I'll be honest with you. Like I used to live on Hampshire and what's it called? Hampshire, not Pine. Yes, no, yeah, Hampshire and Pine, and then the other. What's the street that runs parallel to Pine? Is it
Axis? No.
Elm. Manny Store Street.
Manny Store Street is Sargent.
The other one that goes
Walnut.
That one. So I was right there. Hampshire and Walnut. I was living there, and I remember I was probably like 7 years old.
Is that where you stayed after you came from Puerto Rico?
When we came from Puerto Rico, I don't remember. I only remember living in that building. Yeah. But my mom said that we used to live in Ferguson, which is another building that was lit back in the days too. But I remember living on Hampshire and Walnut, 110 Hampshire, and then I remember running to the corner, and then a car just stopping, and the guy just pulling out an Uzi just right. And I was like, oh, wow. My mom was like, yeah, what are you doing? Come here.
What year was this?
Dude, I was like 6. I don't remember.
1986?
It had to be like 91, 92.
Ooh.
Around there. I was young. Yeah. But then we moved to the flats, and I remember when I was moving to the flats, a lot of people were telling me, you're moving to the flats. Oh, my God. You got to be careful. This, and that. I went down there, and
it was lit.
Good.
It was lit, right?
It was chilling.
It was no community at one point.
It was a community. Yeah. That's what it is. It's a community. Yeah. I can't. I wouldn't change it for the world, man. It was a good experience. I grew up with a group of friends, right? And you could probably speak with this for a similar experience, right? Like different generations have different groups of people that they hang out with and they chill with.
Right.
Me and my group of friends, like, we grew tight. It's like 10, 12 of us. Like, we weren't obviously best of friends because there's so many of us, but we grew tight. And then, like, we were able to just build our own family and our own community within that community. And, like, the community itself all loved each other.
The PJs.
Yeah, like, we had our own shit, right? And then you would go over to the other side of the flats and you would still, like...
and we all segregated different communities.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that during my generation. It became like that after. It became like that when I went to prison. When I went to prison, then it was like that. Like, things changed a little bit. But, like, before that, we were all together. Everything was all chill.
Yeah.
It kind of split a little bit after. So some beef went down between different situations and stuff.
There's always something, especially on the late nights.
But like, it was the flats is always one community.
Yeah.
And even still to this day, like now I call it a ghetto suburb, right? Because like it's all houses down there.
Mhm.
And all the houses that are down there are homeowner occupied. That's the thing to me. It's like a lot of the houses down there, the people that live there own their house.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like Latinos. Like
Straight up.
so that's the thing to me that like that community itself, it's like I call it a ghetto suburb because it's like a suburbia because it's all houses mostly now. There's a couple buildings here and there scattered there,
Yeah.
and then everyone there goes to work. They do their thing. They mind their business. But the part that I attach the ghetto word to, which I should not, but I don't give a shit. I'm gonna say that is what it is. But it's because people live. They have their loud music. You know what I mean? They play their basketball late at night. They hang out at night. They chill. Nobody's gonna call the cops on you.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna bother you. It's a community where people come together and they accept their differences and they build off of that.
Right.
And that's the part where like the whole city overall needs to kind of get to, and we're working on that.
Sometimes it happens, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had church dance a couple times. You know what I mean? We had to beat up.
You can't do that.
You know what I mean?
Can't do that, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I can't do that, man.
Those are different times, right? Holyoke was a different time.
I can't bring up the church dance days, man. Those days were wild.
Yo,
I didn't really go to many of those because I was a little older.
Yeah.
But that was the younger generation.
No, but that was
church dance days was wild.
Yeah, and then the afties after church dance, that made me everything. All those afties after the church dance, like those just were fucking insane, bro, crazy shit going on.
I didn't go to those, man.
Oh my god, like
I had learned my lesson early.
Like Franklin, you remember the Franklin building?
I went once. I never go to those. I stopped going to afties, man, when I was like 15 because I was at one and I witnessed shit that like, nah, man, you stay trapped. Mm-hmm. You can't be in those places like that, man. And it's good. You know, one thing that I noticed, they don't really do those that much anymore. That's good, man, because those things were dangerous.
Unsupervised.
Those things were dangerous.
Unsupervised.
Those things were dangerous.
House parties are dangerous.
I used to be in there like, this is dangerous. This is super dangerous.
This is unsafe. Yeah. There's no metal detectors. There's no security.
Nah, there was none of that. That was wild, bro, back in those days. But it's different now. It's not like that no more. And that's that's what I mean by like things being different. And like, I'm not saying that the community is not in a place where it's all beautiful and everything is at like all hunky dory or whatever.
Right.
What I'm saying is like we've come together as a community now to notice what the issues are, and we're finally at that point. Now we are working through getting to the point of coming together and trying to figure out how to approach the issues. Right. And that's a step and a level that's going to take time on itself. And then once we figure that out, it's going to take time to implement it and put it through.
Right.
So like there's a lot of new stuff now that wasn't around when we were younger. I mean, homelessness was an issue. It's always been an issue.
Always.
But it's not to the extent that it is now, right? Like, do you remember as many people? I remember Pesetita. Like there's staple people that, you know what I mean? That they were out there asking for or asking for money, or they were homeless. And most of these people, I'll be honest, in my era that I remember, they were not actually homeless. They just wanted some money so that they could get their little fix or do whatever it is they wanted to do. You know what I mean? But now you got people like setting up tents and like they're really, really on a whole nother level of homeless.
Yeah, and they be groups, heavy groups.
And I don't.
That's like, our generation of homeless
people. Like, whoa, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's different now. Like, whoa,
yeah.
And then it sprung up fast, right?
Especially on High Street.
So now it's how do we handle this in a holistic way, right? In a way that it helps the community and it helps the businesses on High Street and it helps the people in the city overall feel like we're working on trying to combat the issues, right? But at the same time, you got to kind of figure out what it is that these people that are suffering from the homelessness want to at the same time.
No, yeah, that's definitely the truth.
You know what I mean?
That's
'Cause,
definitely
like,
the truth. But the thing is, you guys have done a lot though. You guys have been pushing together because you guys all come from the raza of
Right,
Holyoke. You
right,
know what
right,
I mean?
right, right,
So
right.
you guys know the problem. You know what I mean? There's a group of you guys that we've seen. Just like you've seen me grow up, we've seen you guys grow up here as well.
Right, right,
So you guys understand it. You guys understand putting things together.
right.
I've been noticing that especially with the events and stuff like that. The events like bringing us more together as a city,
Right.
and and it wasn't really any chaos at those
No,
events. If you
no,
notice, right?
no. But that's the thing though. Like, I truly believe that like the safety here is it's all family like out here, bro.
Yeah.
It's everyone loves each
Because
other.
we all grew up.
And it's so tight.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Whether you know, I was telling somebody the other day, you could know somebody in Holyoke, but not know who they are.
Right.
Like you could say, I know that person because I seen them in elementary school, I seen them in middle school, I seen them in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, I don't know where he lives, I don't know who his family is, but I know him.
Mhm.
And then one day you'll come across him at Stop and Shop, and then you'll make eye contact and be like, and then they'll do the same thing right back, bam, and you'll be like, Holyoke, that's it, we're here. Like that's just you don't even know this dude.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
even know who they are, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Like
It's a city.
that is a natural thing here. So
Yeah.
like the issues that go on in the city, it's family stuff too.
Yeah.
Just like families that beef
Yeah.
within each other.
Exactly.
Like inside the city, you're gonna get that.
Right,
Like
right.
and for us is trying to mitigate it and prevent it to the best of our abilities.
Being the bigger uncles is like, oh, like, yo, come on,
Trying
come together,
to
nephew.
situate it like to the best as you can, because crime is constant, and to me, I know some people can make pretend that there's a Batman out here and then make sure that it disappears forever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like when the pandemic hit, like not wearing a mask was a crime.
Right.
So like the spectrum of what crime is always fluctuates.
Mhm.
So to me, in my mind, no matter what, there will always be crime.
Right.
So like it's all about managing and mitigating it and what like shaping of what it looks like. Right. So like if we start working on creating more programming for the kids, right?
Mhm.
Start creating more programming, not just for the kids, but for the parents of the kids, for the dads, for the moms, for whomever, right? Overall, for them to be involved and being engaged in their kids' lives in different ways. Don't got to be what it looks like for someone else.
Yeah.
Right? It don't gotta, you and I don't have to have the same way we raise our kids.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we all get on the same narrative and we get on the same tune. It helps change the whole idea of how we function within this community.
Facts.
For me, like Central football is a great example, right? Like they used to, when I was in high school, they used to whoop our ass. I ain't gonna lie. But we beat them sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? But now they took it to another level because they made it a culture in their community. They made it a narrative that we are the best.
Because those are the same kids probably growing up from that team, right?
And they're just, now it's a narrative over there.
Yeah.
Now it is the narrative. So like any kid that if you have your kid now and you have your son, he's one of the best kids coming up in Holyoke football, you're probably going to send him to Central if Central recruits him. Right? It's because that narrative is there. They've already built that. And you got to get to that point.
Right.
So for me, it's like we got to do that here as a community in Holyoke.
Establish ourselves.
And we got to make ourselves known that we are people that are like a family that are going to try to build and always try to pick each other up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to take each other down on a variety of different occasions, which is what's happening out here, right? Like if we're always constantly trying to criminalize each other and come at each other in different ways, we're never going to be able to get the narrative together, right? Of all of us as a community to move forward. Because if not, everyone's going to be pulling in their own directions.
And that's the thing, it's like crabs in a barrel.
That's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
That's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
But the thing is that for me is that where it happens the most for those people are the people that are the least fortunate.
Right.
Because
the ones that are put into this like Section 8 housing, put all together, and they just have to constantly deal with each other.
I mean, I think for them it'd be the kids probably.
Yeah.
Because the kids have I don't know, it depends. Like you can have kids that grow up in Section 8 housing or whatever, and they're I know a lot of kids that are successful.
Right.
And they figure it out and they
Yeah.
go through their systems or whatnot. It doesn't mean that necessarily that you're gonna be going through the worst of the worst if you're going through the projects and stuff like that.
But just know, you know what I mean? You better have a tough shield.
But understand that depending on where you live,
you better have a tough shield.
There's gonna be situations where you might have to like hold your own.
Yeah.
But that's the same anywhere. I would say
100%.
If you lived in I guess
we need a little bit of like a little bit of a smack in the face to get us back in motion. You know
I don't know about that.
like a little bit. Estate quieto, tú estás guiado.
I don't condone violence. You talk to them, dog check them, use your words as much as you can, and then get to that point. Then just keep it moving. It doesn't make any sense, because you're not gonna get nothing from that. Because then it creates more, and it continues back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And somebody has to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
Somebody has to eat it, and it's hard.
100%. 100%.
I have been eating it at the council. I'm not gonna lie, they've been coming at me hard, bro.
Yeah,
they've been coming with
heat. Why are they coming at you?
Heat. I don't know, man. I said a swear one time. I think I said shit.
Oh, you said it again.
That's it. And they're like, "Oh, wow, order, no," and they slam the hammer. I don't know. And then there's another time. I don't know, man. Like sometimes they play games, right?
Yeah.
That they think that you don't realize. So like, because I don't play that same game, I'm not gonna play by your rules all the time.
Yeah.
I don't play your game.
Because you're Batman.
Nah,
I do it. You're Batman all along.
I'm not gonna play your game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play my game. And it doesn't make any sense for me to play at your level. These guys on the council have been there like 30 years, 20 years. They know how to do they know all the rules, they know all the write-ups. Order. I don't know all that lingo yet.
Yeah.
So I got 8 months in, 10 months in. Like, I just know that you ain't gonna tell me to be quiet with a little mallet. That's not. That's not.
You're gonna find a different way.
That's not enough. Like, if they're gonna be talking for 40 or 50 minutes, then why do I gotta wait so long? You know, like, it's crazy.
And what is that? That's for like when you're trying to pass something or trying to get something done.
That's the thing, like, right? Like, so this is the part, right? Like, this is kind of why I wanted it, because it allows me to explain like how this works. And it's crazy, right? Because I'm from the flats. I grew up I'm not gonna say poor, but I guess that their statistics, we were poor. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. I graduated at Holyoke High in 2003. Then I went to prison for like 5 years because I got caught hustling, selling bud. Selling bud? Selling bud. They raided my house. Yeah, they got me like 4 pounds, 5 pounds, I think, of weed. And then but they also beat me up, but then they charged me with assault.
Wait, that wasn't the projects, right?
Yeah,
that was like
projects.
I did remember that.
Yeah. There was also like a little bit of coke that I had there, but whatever. But then
let's scratch that.
Yeah. But it wasn't scratch though. Like they literally did me dirty on that situation.
No, I can only imagine.
Because dude took the cut that I had and mixed it and made it more than what it was, which made me get like 5 years.
Right.
So then I ended up getting smoked, and then while I'm in there, I find out that the undercover cop that did the whole situation, he's over here. He comes out as a dirty cop himself. So I'm like, damn, dude. So
there's a lot of those going on, right, at one point.
So that I couldn't really challenge it because I already pled out.
Right.
Like I copped out to 5 years instead of doing 10. Like, so I was like, whatever, boom. Anyways,
It always sounds better, right? Always sounds better.
always sounds better. So then I did my time, boom. I came out, and when I came out, I went to Holyoke Community College. I graduated there in 2016, and I ended up going to UMass. I graduated in 2018. Now I'm at Westfield trying to get my master's, right? So like sitting here on the council, like working in this world and maneuvering in these worlds is like I'm always constantly reminded that I do not belong here. Like on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like for them it's like a glitch in the matrix. It's like
for some people they're like, "Oh my god, you did 5 years in prison?"
Right.
Where? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's dumbfounding to them. But like, for some people, like they and they give you the face, like they hate you, like you are a scum of the earth, whatever. But like at the end of the day, though, like I try to lead by example, right? I try to lead by showing people that you don't have to listen to the or pay attention to the barriers that are put forth in front of you. You can either work around them, go over them, or just break through them. Right. One way or another, you get to where you want to get to. You just got to, I was going to say you got to put all your effort and focus on it, but you could do all that and still not succeed. Yeah. You got to be able to network your way around it, because that's the situation. Because if you got networks, you don't need as much effort, right? You just need the plugs to put in the effort.
Right.
Like, but if you have all the effort and all the other stuff and the networks, then you're gonna be a beast.
Right.
That's the part. And there's a lot of people that you look at when you went to school with, in like middle school and high school, and like when you're a kid growing up, you think like, what am I gonna be, right? When I grow up, how's it gonna be, or how's that person gonna be, or how's this person gonna be? And then you look now. For me, I look now. I'm about to be 37 in a couple of weeks. And I see a lot of people I went to high school with, and I'm fucking happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am happy. Like, there are some that are lost.
Mm-hmm. Always.
You know what I mean? And lost in my definition, right? Not their definition. They could be found in their ways. Yeah. They could be totally cool in their ways. No disrespect to anybody. But at the end of the day, that, you know what I mean? Like, I am pretty happy with what I seen in the people of Holyoke that graduated with me at Holyoke High, that graduated from Dean Tech around the same times. Our receiver, Anthony Soto, like I was a senior. I think I was a freshman when he was a senior. He was at Dean though, and I was at Holyoke High or something like that. Yeah. But like I remember him because I played baseball and he was nasty. I was good, and now he's one of the superintendents of all the schools. Like you see this stuff, right? Like Josh Garcia. Yeah. I worked with him at the Boys Club. Yeah. Like I known him for a long time. Now he's the mayor. Like, what am I like?
How the fuck y'all do that, right? That's
it's not. It's just like it's Holyoke.
Well, so
that's what it is to
me.
My
question to it is, what clicked? When did it be like, yo, I'm gonna become part of city council? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just do this. You know what I mean?
One of the city councilors that gives me mad, that he gives me a hard time all the time now. Yeah. One time I was at the city council meeting. I forgot what it was we were advocating for. I think it was for the dispensaries when they were first coming out, like voting yes on it and stuff, or something with ex-felons. And I had commented at public comment, and this one counselor, I'm not gonna say his name, he'll be all right. He had commented back to me, and he was like, if you know so much, why don't you run? And I was like, oh, I will. So the next day I went and I pulled papers.
It's a aggressive match.
I pulled papers. It's just like,
I'm about to.
You know what I mean? I thought about it. I was like, there's no at-large city councilors at the time that were Latino. Yeah. And most of the at-large city councilors live either in Ward 5, 6, or 7, which is all the way up in the higher areas. Mm-hmm. And at-large is supposed to represent the whole city. It's hard to represent the whole city when you only live in one section of the city. Like most people mostly frequent their little zones. Like you stay in your little bubbles, your little areas. So what's to say that any of these people come to the flats or South Holyoke?
Right.
So like I felt like there's not enough representation on the council for the community overall. Not just like so I grew up being everywhere. Like I can hang out in any crew or be any part of the city and fit in and feel like I'm good.
Bro,
Right?
that's 100%.
You know
That's
what I'm
100%.
saying?
I,
But
I
like,
can see. I can remember seeing you everywhere and just being chilling. Like,
yeah, anywhere I can chill, anywhere, be with anybody. And I felt like that is what was needed, like a taste of that on the council, because like, not to knock anybody else, but like it's all like one flavor.
Yeah,
it's all one flavor. Like
unseasoned.
It needed to be spiced up. That's it. And now I'm telling you that if they look at their city council ratings, I bet you they're higher now because I'm on the council.
Talking shit. It's just talking shit. Let them know we running shit. Yo, but that's lit, man. That's a crazy turnaround. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I know things were kind of bumpy in the beginning because you had to, the adjustment of just being in the streets and being taught a certain way.
Well, the thing is that like, I'm gonna be honest. I was hanging out with all my friends and all that. Like, they always told me that I shouldn't be hanging out with like them. People always told me like, yo, you shouldn't be here. You should be like in college, or you should be here going there or doing this.
Yeah.
Cause like you're different. And like I used to tell them, no, I'm not different. I'm the same as you, bro. Like we're all the same.
Yeah.
We just gotta, you know what I mean? You just gotta find whatever your strength is or whatnot. Which is what we all did eventually. But like it's because I can read and write and understand certain things a certain way faster than someone else does not make me exclusive, right? Like it doesn't put me out of the group that I was in, that I grew up with, because I have the same experiences and I have the same memories. We did all the same shit. So like at the end of the day, it's like I'm still a part of this.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna take myself away from this because
the money.
Because the opportunity.
Because
of the opportunity and all that other stuff. So that's the thing to me. Like if I didn't swear, if I was a lot more clean cut and like spiffy or whatever, I'd probably be an executive director somewhere running a whole bunch of like stuff.
Right.
But because I want to continue, like there's a certain part of me that needs to still be where I'm like I can change, I can alter, and I can grow, mature. I'm not gonna say change, I'll say mature. Right? I can mature over time because like now I wear slacks and some shoes and shit. Yeah. I would prefer that than sneakers and jeans, honestly.
Right.
Like, but that's because I've matured.
Right.
It's not because I've changed. But like over time, you will mature and people will mature. But I want to do it at my pace, and I want people to accept me while I do that at my pace, because it's not just me. Yeah. It's you. Yeah. It's your kids. It's everyone else that's coming from the same neighborhoods, that are coming from the same type of setting. Like, not everybody wants to or can communicate in a way where it's like, oh, hello, how are you doing? You know what I mean? Right. Like, there are different ways. And that's the beauty for me about Holyoke, right? Because you can go to the gas station in Racing Mart, you walk in and you say, necesito esto, esto, y esto. Boom. You don't even have to talk English. You don't even have to talk English.
Little Puerto Rico.
I have cousins that come from Chicago and they come from other places, and they're like, damn, I don't even have to talk English over here. This is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but that's part of the thing for me. It's like being able to make some things normal, right? Because it is normal. Yeah. Because you can spit an official lingo that makes you professional. Does not make me professional. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I still get the job done. I actually can communicate with more people on their level and contact more people on their level than you can.
Right.
Like, if we do outreach work and I have to go out there and organize, who's going to organize better?
Talk
you,
your
your
shit,
language,
Talk
or
your
me
shit.
and my language? No, you're gonna reach out to someone like
Right.
me to go get to the people.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
Your face is familiar.
There's one, and the other piece is you can't communicate on my level.
Right.
And that's the piece. Like you got to accept people for who they are, bro. Don't try to mold them into something different. Just like let them mature at their pace.
Right. Because you like Obama. You got the daps for the whites.
Nah, Josh is Obama. Josh is Obama, man. Josh is Obama, man. I'm not Obama. Josh is Obama.
You Batman. You Batman. Yo, I'm telling you, he's Batman. Yo, I'm telling you, he's behind the scenes. He's making it happen. That's crazy,
I'm
man.
too radical to be Obama.
Yeah.
I voted no on ShotSpotter. Everybody hates me.
Would you want to be president? With
Me?
Yeah,
I can't. I don't think I can. I'm not sure.
Nah, I'm saying like if they be like, hey, Izzy, we like your work, come be the president, brother. Hey, we need you. The Democrats need you. The Republicans need you. You know what I mean? Nah. It be set up. It's set
That's
up,
too
right?
much responsibility.
They're trying to set you up, Izzy.
That's too much responsibility.
Yeah.
Good.
You come out gray hair like Obama.
Yeah, I'm already getting gray hairs in my chin.
Because
city council. Yeah. City council.
It's like being able to read everybody's mind and hear all the needs of the people.
Oh my God. I get phone calls. I get random calls. Like they just be like, hola. It's mostly people that don't speak English too, bendito. So it's like I feel happy about that.
Yeah.
Because like they have somebody to call.
Yeah.
They have somebody to call. Mm-hmm. So they're like, hola, tú eres Rivera. Me dijeron que te tengo que llamar a ti, que tú eres que yo tengo que hablar para tener esto, el handicap. And I'm like, okay, let's get it. I'm sitting here like, then I call City Hall and I'm like, yo, somebody wants a handicap. What do I got to do? And then they explain me the process and I'm like, okay. But it's cool, man. It's weird when you get like the hate mail and stuff like that.
Okay. This is interesting. This is what I want to get into.
You get the hate mail.
You get the.
And you get the warriors, like the keyboard warriors.
Oh yeah.
On like Facebook or like email.
Oh yeah. The demons. Yeah. There's two sides to everything, Izzy. Two sides to everything.
I ain't worried about it.
Well, what did we say, Izzy? What did we say? Did we talking shit?
Well, I ain't worried about that. I don't stress them people, man.
Yo, come outside.
As long as they stay away from my family, we're good.
Nah, but that's wild, though, right?
It.
It's just like people that are upset that you're in the council.
Some of it is that.
Yeah.
Some of it is that.
It's one of them. Like,
yeah.
Fuck Izzy.
No, it's more like he's an ex-felon. Yeah. He has no decorum. Like he's rude and all this other stuff. And they don't even know me. It's not that I'm rude or anything like that. It's just like
being black is rude. That's what they think.
Yeah, sometimes you probably know, right?
No, I'm here with you. I got long hair too, so they just come at me.
Sometimes it's weird, bro. Like I don't know, but I ain't worried about them. That actually means I'm doing my job.
Holyoke strong.
I'm doing my thing. I ain't stressing it. For me, I think the best way to approach like community building is by getting people to come together, right? But not generically, hey, let's throw a party and let's do all this like stuff. No, do it in a genuine way where like people feel comfortable in their space.
Right.
Like if you want to go and actually get information from the people, go to where they're at. And if that means that they're out at the club at like 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night,
then go to the club.
That means you got to go into the club and start handing out surveys to these motherfuckers while they're drinking. Or right before they drinking, like, yo, like, what's up? Catch them right when they get there. Or talk to the people that own the bars or the clubs and say, hey, listen, can you have some of these people fill out this questionnaire so you can get some of this information that you're looking for?
Because right now,
right now though, like that's the problem where they're having with the community is like actually being able to connect with the community.
Yeah,
like people don't show up we set up meetings and people don't show up. Yeah, you set up a meeting at City Hall. Like who goes there? Like I go there because I'm getting paid to go there, but other than that, like a lot of people don't go there for their like that kind of stuff. They only know that place is to go pay a bill.
That's dreadful.
That's what
Everything about it.
that's what it's technically known for, right?
I know. The city está
So it's like,
jodiéndome.
or like go to the school for this and or for that, and like most parents or families are already on that level where it's like, I go to the school all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, for a lot of different things. And what's this? You know what I mean? It's maybe trying to get them out on different ways, but I don't know.
How
Listen,
would you, what would you set it up?
me,
No
I actually,
plans.
nah, I wouldn't. I would actually do different events in different parts of the communities to try to communicate the message.
Oh, so you scatter the events.
Yeah.
So we one in the Flats, one in South Holyoke, one in
Right.
Sargent, one in Highlands.
Right. And I'll try to find locations where people gather the most.
Yeah.
And I would have to find someone that's in the neighborhood. In every neighborhood, there's somebody that knows everybody.
Yeah.
You got to find that person.
Yeah.
And then when you find that person, you communicate with that person to help you get the message out.
Mm-hmm.
Because those people are naturally that. There's in every community, there's one person that's connected to everybody, that
Facts.
knows everybody.
Facts.
You know what
They
I'm
get
saying?
the message out.
Right.
They get the message out. That's Holyoke in the background, by the way.
Yeah. Those are great firefighters. Hard
Yeah.
at work.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of our friends are becoming firefighters
That's what
too.
I'm saying.
And policemen.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's beautiful.
That's what I'm
It's
trying
beautiful.
to say.
No
Like,
bullshit.
these are a lot of kids that I went to school with or I seen in the Boys and Girls Club. I
Mhm.
seen grow up. And some of them were knuckleheads.
Yeah.
And you looking at them, they finding their way. Like, eventually with time, people mature. I mean,
Exactly.
they don't change. They mature,
Mhm.
right? I'm not going to say you changed because you're no longer the kid that's running around acting a fool. And
Right.
all of a sudden you have a family and you have a job and you have things that you have priorities that you're trying to prioritize.
You're still the same fool.
You're still the same fool,
You're still the same fool.
right? You still try him. Go ahead and try that guy. Go ahead. See if he won't. Like, it might be the situation still, but like he has priorities
Mhm.
and he's matured and he's learned to actually like. I feel like with a lot of us in our communities here, that's what it is. We need the space to mature.
Mm.
The problem is just through that maturity, we end up getting like significant bumps and bruises,
Right.
like criminal records and stuff.
Right.
So that when you come to mature, it makes it a lot more harder for you to mature.
You set an example though, because you showed that even though you had a felony, you were able to accomplish something so fucking great. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in some cases, people are looking at you like this motherfucker broke the system. You know what I mean?
I feel that way too.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's beautiful that, and you give us like not us because I'm not a felon, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But you give niggas in the street.
Well, you know a lot of niggas that were felons.
Yeah. I didn't try. I don't want to say that.
I was gonna say, but you.
I'm trying to give him. What am I name him?
No, you don't have to say it. You don't have to say how many, but
Yeah.
you know.
No, everybody knows a felon. 100%.
But why you don't want to try to say that? Though?
No. I was just playing.
But that's the thing. Like for me, it's like it's just my reality. That's the reality of what it is, bro.
Okay.
Like you know what I mean.
Go
like,
on that. Go on that.
You know what I mean? Like some people want to just.
Because when people run for council, they
Yeah.
tend to hide their true self
Nah,
in order
bro,
to show you
nah.
rather show yourself 100%.
Nah, man. Then you're voting for somebody you don't know.
Ooh, tell them.
Then later on, something comes up that you don't know about that pops up out of nowhere, and you're like,
Yeah.
I voted for this guy,
Right.
and then you feel dumb.
With you, it's like we know it.
No, I'm telling you straight off the rip what it is, bro. Like what I'm going for, and what like where I come from, where I grew up, what I've experienced, and how I want to move Holyoke forward.
Yeah.
And if I'm not on the council, I'd still be advocating and organizing in a different way, doing something different, probably serving on a commission or doing something in some capacity, trying to help the city or the community overall. It doesn't matter that I'm on the council. I mean, it's great. It's awesome. It's more of a headache, to be honest.
More of a headache.
Way more of a headache.
You don't have a little bit more leverage though than
You know, leverage, man. I got people that hate me when I walk into the store sometimes, bro, for no
Really?
reason. Yo. Like I go sit down at a bar sometimes, and depending at what bar, like they'll look at me and be like, it'll stank face, and I look at them like, hello, how are you doing?
Se cambió.
No, it's not in those places. In those places, like they love you.
Mm.
It just
It's
depends.
just a different. I
It
see what
just
you're saying. I
depends.
see what you're saying.
The different vibes and
Yeah.
stuff, like different places you go, different people. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I feel all the love in the hood
No, for real,
all day,
bro.
every day.
We love you, bro. No bullshit. We admire your greatness. No bullshit.
Nah,
When
no,
we
man.
I'm gonna be 100 because I like to give niggas their flowers before we like some Noriega shit.
Yeah,
We like to
yeah,
give niggas their flowers when we see
yeah,
them
yeah.
doing great shit. And you where you came from, and where
Mhm.
you at now is a completely different person. And your
Yeah.
growth is inspiring, bro. I want to just tell you that right
Thank you.
now.
Thank you. I appreciate
And,
that.
and I appreciate you. Oh,
Nah,
shit,
appreciate it.
100%.
It's hard to accept that the positive criticism.
No, I
To
hear
be
you. I
honest,
hear you because you know what I mean. You hear
because
the voices of the world right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But thank you, I appreciate that, man. Nah, and it's good that you're doing this, man. This is providing a platform, a hard body for
I
people
want
to
to make it
speak.
real Holyoke with them. You know what I mean?
You
So like
can.
once I seen you come on, I was like, oh, we got one.
Nah, that's
We
it.
got one. We got the Holyoke in the
Nah,
building. You know what I
whatever,
mean?
man.
Because I everybody like I try to keep the. I mean, I like certain people from other places, but I try to keep everybody that comes in
Mhm.
a Holyoke person, like a person from Holyoke,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
just see us communicate, see the different aspects.
Right.
There might be some, you know what I mean, some
Yeah.
bunches, and there might be some bunches that you know what I mean.
Nah, yeah. That's the thing. Like if you could bring in a variety of different personalities and people from the community, then you'll be able to expose
Yeah,
a lot of that.
yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot out here
Hey,
in
if
Holyoke.
you want to gather them up, we can gather them up.
I'll talk to
You know
some
what I
people.
mean? Because
Yeah.
I'm all about showing as much Holyoke as possible.
Yeah.
Cause we here,
Right.
we here.
Yeah. But I think uh just for like Holyoke sake overall, it's feeling like we're going in a good direction now.
It does. It does. Things are changing.
Yeah.
I feel like things are changing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're gonna. I think there's a lot of great opportunities and potential that's gonna start growing here.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that within several 5 to 7 years, Holyoke is gonna look completely different.
Yo,
So
listen, High Street Roads do already.
yeah,
Thank you very much, my nigga. Cause
that's more of a Josh thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think he
yeah.
rushed that
You
through.
can
I'm not
run,
sure.
you can let him know. You can let him know
Yeah,
come
yeah.
down.
I'll let him
You
know.
can let him know.
I'll let him know.
Yo.
But like, yeah, and it's evolving and it's changing and it's changing fast. So you guys gotta either jump on the wave or you're gonna get pushed out the way. That's what's it.
Talk your shit.
That's what's coming. That's what's coming.
So, what do you got planned now? What are things that are in motion that you got going
So
now?
right now, working with Families First, I'm running parenting programs. They're called the Power of Parenting, and we're running Parent Leadership Series. Parent leadership is usually around parents that graduate from the Power of Parenting, um, and we get them to get more civically engaged after graduating from the Power of Parenting. The Power of Parenting provides like 12 different sessions around helping parents develop tools and also identifying themselves, like where they at mentally, physically, and how that affects their family overall, and how that affects the
That's a great
kids.
program,
You know
bro.
what I mean? So like helping parents understand this, not teaching them, none of that, because we ain't coming from a situation where I'm gonna show you how to be a parent,
Right.
because that's not something that nobody can tell you that they know how to be a parent, because that's
Facts.
it changes.
We're winging it. We're all winging it.
It's different for everyone. It's all about some foundational tools, and if you have some, it's about sharpening those tools too at the same time and sharing them with other parents, so that other parents can probably use your tools too to try to be, you know what I mean? Because different kids are on different levels.
Yeah.
Um,
What are some of the tools you guys teach?
uh, I I don't think we would. I'm not able to say
Oh, no,
teach.
no, no,
I'm not
okay,
able to say
okay,
teach
okay,
first
okay,
of all,
okay,
right?
okay.
Because we don't teach.
Practice, right? Can I say practice?
We facilitate sessions.
Okay.
I'm not the facilitator though. We hire facilitators, and the facilitators they run the curriculum through. I didn't bring any of the paperwork to be able
Nah,
to.
that's okay. That's okay.
But there was a couple sessions. Like one of the first ones focused, I think, on self care. The third one I think is on temperament. Know your child's temperament.
Mm.
Um, there's there's one on digital education type of stuff on like iPads and computers. How much screen time is too much time, or if you're gonna give screen time, like how you can give it to them in a way where it's beneficial to their learning, um, stuff like that. But I I think with working with them, I've noticed because I'm a guy, right? And a lot of parents that attend the program are female moms,
Yeah.
right? And it's like I have like if I have like 12 parents, I might have one guy,
Right.
and to me that's like it's kind of an issue, right? And I'm trying to think of ways to see how we can encourage dads to start being more of a part of these programs. My program is not a mom's program. It's a family program.
Right.
But everybody assumes it's a mom's program because it's a lot of moms.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's where it starts in some cases, though. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It can't. Like I feel like it gotta be to the point where
they gotta both be there.
We gotta be there.
Yeah.
Like I ain't even worried about if mom is there.
Yeah.
Like mom's there, that's cool, that's great. But as a dad, you gotta be there. You should like that's what because that's what moms think. That's how they think. They're not gonna say, oh well, if dad's not gonna make it, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
They're gonna go. Like we gotta be on that wave. Like it's hard for me because I didn't grow up with a dad. And maybe I'm creating like a fantasy of what a dad should do, right?
Yeah.
Or how it should be.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, it's like you should want to be there. You should sign up for these programs
to grow together.
To grow, well, either you grow together as a family because it's better that way. But even if you're not, because the problem that I notice with a lot of dads and a lot of dudes that I know or I'm around is that like if they're not with their partner, they don't want to be a dad no more. Like and it's just like they play the weekend dad role thing. Like that's a whole different concept. I'm married, so like I'm there every day, and I know how much stress is being put on the family every day with having 2 kids, right? And if I take myself out of the equation and I only come on Saturdays and Sundays, how much more stress is on
right
on her?
Exactly,
like
100%.
Because I'm here every day. I'm like, wow. So
and you kind of balance everything, which is
it kind of helps. I don't say I balance because I feel like she runs it, so I help her balance.
Right. You're the assistant coach.
Right. So I help her balance stuff out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if we were to ever separate, I have to still figure out how I can still help keep some of that balance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like whatever issues I got with her or whatever problems came up or whatnot, that would have to kind of like be put to the side because technically as a dad, you're supposed to still provide, bro.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%,
like,
yeah.
Just because you're not with them, that don't mean like
it's just the party starts.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of dads do. Like, and I don't knock it because I've seen it and it looks kind of fun. But like at the end of the day, the reality of what it is, if you want to be a real life dad, you got to kind of make some sacrifices.
Own up to it.
You got to make some sacrifices.
The show's over about us. Once the kids are born, our show is over.
I mean, you could still like strive to be that boom, 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 but like understand that everything you're doing is resulting to give to them.
Right.
But
they're draining us. They got they
give you 2. They drain you, but they give you youth too at the same time.
It feels great.
They keep you young. You know what I mean?
It is lit, right? The kids now, like having our own kids and looking at them grow up and being.
I'm 37 now, right? My kid is gonna be 1, and the other one's gonna be 3. I'm going to be with some parents that are probably like 28, 29, 27. So it's like, I'm going to be fraternizing with the younger crowd always.
Yeah.
They keep you young.
That's a secret. That's a secret to you.
And plus I got to chase her around all the time.
Oh, yeah.
A
It gets,
little
yeah,
gift.
it gets more. It gets more.
That's crazy. I can't wait till they're independent.
Right, yo, bro. That's what, yo. It's a little boring when they're like just small, right?
It's not that they're born. It's just like they need you so much. I walk in, my baby's like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
boom, what's up, boom. I put her down, and she's like, okay, yeah, and I'm like, no, I just put you down. She's like, but come on, and then if not, she starts crying.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You gotta tell her you're Batman.
Batman, you stupid.
You gotta let her know. You gotta let her know. Hey, it's okay. I'm Batman. Come here. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. Growing up with kids now, man, because it changes your perspective and a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like you have to live longer now, because it's like, I got these. I gotta make sure I see every part of
That
this.
is true.
And it's like you gotta question yourself. It questions yourself. Like, fuck, I hope I can fucking stay long enough to see them grow.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true too, yeah.
Cause and it's like the back of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but it's beautiful at the same time. You know what I mean?
No, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful.
And see other people's kids grow too. It's still cool. Like I've watched my whole life, like other people's kids grow. So like now it's my turn to watch my kids grow.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. Nah, that's all. I can't wait to see when they get bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That's gonna be a different climate. Holyoke is gonna change completely. You know what I'm saying?
Man. It's gonna change, man.
Unless the war ends, just because this war is crazy too right now. Things are always changing, and
I
like,
don't pay attention to none of that stuff.
we can't, right? There's no, you know what I mean? Because if it comes, it just happens.
Yeah, I don't. I said it's out of my. It's too. There's levels to this shit.
You can't grasp that. You know what I mean?
Well, I can. I don't. There's levels to this, and that level right there is just like I can't. I'm not on that level. Yeah. I can't influence that level whatsoever. So I manage what I can. So like that's why in my master's program I used to be at UMass, and then I transferred to Westfield. I left from UMass because a lot of the programming that I was taking for the classes was designed around national organizations, national government, and world government. I don't care about none of that stuff. That's not my level. I care about Holyoke.
Right.
I care about Western Mass.
Mm-hmm.
I care about ex-felons. I care about moms, dads, families, kids. Like I can only help where I'm at, right? Like if I can influence on another level, if I can get to that level, that'd be great.
Right.
But right now, my reality is this. That's not my reality.
100%. It's like Batman with Gotham. He only stays in Gotham. Yeah.
It's
like, you don't get out. You only stay out.
So I transferred to Westfield State because at Westfield, I actually am taking classes where like I'm partnering with like the PVTA, or I'm gonna end up partnering with like local organizations in Holyoke or in Chicopee or in Springfield. Like I'm 37 years old, bro. I'm not a 22-year-old kid that's dreaming to work in like for Mr. Kennedy or like Mr. whoever. Like I don't care about none of that. I'm good with that. That's not me.
So you're gonna put more gray hairs, right?
Nah, just that's a whole nother level. I'm 37, bro. Like I'd have to. No, I'm good with that.
So you ever think about like growing from the city council, going to the like governor, going to mayor, doing things from that? You know what I mean?
I've thought about that. My bad, my beard.
That's okay.
Mayor, no. There are other things that possibly I would thought about doing, but it's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell.
It depends. We'll see. I got to win this election that I got coming up right now.
Okay.
There's another election next year. Next November.
So basically, you guys gear up for that now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gear up, start fundraising, and then after fundraising, I start just knocking on doors.
Yeah, you're a real James Patrick, yo. You have the power, right? You lit.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's lit, Izzy. All right, what time we got, Kat?
An hour and 4 minutes.
Hour and 4 minutes?
Yeah.
We did it, Izzy.
All right, awesome.
You think we got everything out of there?
I mean, we got a lot. There's
Yeah.
probably more, but that's good.
I think we can give them that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As always, guys, you already know what it is. It's a whole lot of real. I'm here with Izzy, or how should we say this? Israel. Rivera. we gotta be formal, my boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Holyoke's in the building. If you don't like what we talk about, you don't have to tune in. We just speaking from the truth. We just speaking from the heart. It's a whole lot of real. You already know what it is. Rat.